Welcome to the Back in Charge brief, where Kerrie and I look at the health, the energy, and the behaviours affecting people, leadership, and performance inside organisations. And today we are going to be talking about when your best performer becomes the problem. Now, I want you to take a moment, okay? Now, I've made some little notes for this one. Okay? And this person, they be delivering, right? They're going to be delivering the numbers. They know the business. They know the ins, the outs, how it works. They could run, they're performing on the, it's effortless.
They're confident.
They're confident, okay? They are difficult to replace, okay, because they're, in that 1%. And they also have influence within the team, within the organization, within the company. But they're causing an issue. They're causing a problem, okay? People start to avoid them. People may leave. Standards are, they're starting to get bent. Yeah, they're slipping, right? And no one wants to confront the situation. It's a difficult topic, right? It's an important topic. Now, look, I think we've all had experiences of this over the years. Because it's a tough one, isn't it? Like, what do you do? What is the best thing to do in this situation? Like, what do you do? Do you have that conversation with that person, or do you just let that person carry on because they are delivering? On paper, the results are there, right, Kels? The results are there, but the soft side, on the people side, it's an issue. Like, what would be like? Where do you sit on this? Where do you sit on this, Kels?
I personally sit from a place of like integrity, values, and looking at it as a whole. Okay, because there's always going to be two sides, and some people are simply going to look at results. Are the numbers being hit? Are the targets being hit? Is there being these things being achieved? Yes. So some people might be like, fine, whatever. But for me, it's integrity, it's values. And what does that say if you know that they're a problem, but you don't confront it? How does that leave people feeling? You need communication. And I think it shows the importance, and it makes people feel valued, and they're not just seen as, like a transaction to get results. They're actually looked at as a human. And that goes for the one as well, performing. My first question is, are they aware?
That's it,
Are
right?
they aware they're the problem? And that's not me excusing them or anyone. But if they're just doing the do, they're showing up, they're hitting results, are they aware? So first of all, I think there needs to be a conversation. And what is human nature 101? What do we like to do? We like to avoid uncomfortable confrontation.
But that's why I said that people, like good people are actually good in their roles. If this is something that goes on over a period of time, those good people would actually, potentially leave because of this person. Instead of having that conversation, they would come in, they'll go within, and then find it easier to actually leave than actually to sort that conversation out and actually sort that situation out.
And again, it comes back to the conversation we had last week as well, right? Like when we're in a team meeting, and are we clear on what needs to be done? And if someone's there thinking, oh, I'm not too sure here, it's being brave and speaking up. So perhaps if someone within the team is just feeling uncomfortable by their behavior, have they voiced that? Or are they just sitting with it? Have they let it slide? But how many times do you let
accepting it?
No, but how many times do you let something slide until you're like, no more? And for me, like, it's integrity within the workplace, but also it's just like, one of these comments, now this can be a trigger for people, it's like how you do anything is how you do everything. So how you let it be at work, is that how it is outside of work? Do you know what I mean? Like, and the more you lean into the discomfort, it's actually going to help you. It's going to strengthen you. It's going to shape you. It's going to grow you in confidence.
And also it's going to grow the actual organization as a team as well. Because if they can have these uncomfortable conversations, then that's going to be built upon trust.
And unity, like being able to unite. And also it shows that staff and team are valued, and they're like, hey, look, so-and-so stepped up and told me their concerns. You know, there's been a time and place for me where I've had that, and I've spoken, and it hasn't made a change. But if someone is, if not just someone, if the team are seeing it, and even if they go to the leader, go to the boss, and they're aware of it too, but then that's actioned, think of the positive impact that's going to feel. They know that they can go with their concerns, and it's going to be heard, and something's going to be done.
That's it. That's it. And again, because it's not just about the now, right? Yes, they're delivering the performances now. Yes, the behavior is, it could be, not a good behavior. They are the issue, okay, in the now. But look at the consequences long term. Yes, they're getting the results now, but what's that going to say then about in the future? Are they still going to get the results? Or people are then outside of the business or even inside the business going to realize that, and actually then the performances are actually going to drop? And that's what you got to think about, is the fallout. Yes, people need to deliver in the now, but is it going to be sustainable long term? And that's the bigger question, isn't it? Like, that's the bigger question, is what about, is this going to be sustainable? Probably not, because there's going to be bigger issues. There's going to be it's going to be a bigger job in the future, isn't it, to address? Because then you're going to have the issues of the other staff around them, the other team around them. You're going to have to address all of that, bigger issues there. Then performances might drop, because and then maybe the customers, they might start to then see the issue, and they might take their business elsewhere, because I go, oh yeah, no, I don't really want to be associated with that.
It's just so much more to look at. But I think that it's just communication in the workplace, communication with community.
Yeah. But again, though, in the moment, though, people are looking at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. And for some businesses, some companies, that's all they're interested in, is the numbers. So that, it's a funny one. It's a fine line, isn't it? It's a grey area. At the moment, well, everything's good. Looking at it from the numbers, everything's good. But looking at it from the other side, the soft side, as we like to call it, things aren't so good. And how long is this going to be sustainable if nothing is addressed? Because they will have to be addressed at some point, won't it? It's a bit like we call it, don't we? We call it, it's not about the socks. Because when it does all erupt, and when it does all happen, and this conversation will happen at some point, it's not going to actually be about the conversation about what's actually happened. That's just going to be the last one. It's going to be about everything else that has preceded it. And this has been the actual moment when it actually makes that conversation happen.
Exactly. Forced it rather than just addressing it. And like I said, that person who's delivering the results, are they aware of it?
That's it.
So exactly. It's like, actually, the best thing, the risk is actually not confronting the actual issue.
No, exactly. That is the big. That's the bigger risk. The bigger problem. That's the bigger risk, but it's also probably the bigger problem, not addressing it.
And that's why I say again. And what does that say on a wider scale? If we know that they're a problem, but we like what we see, so we're not going to do anything. Like you said, how's that going to play out to other people? And they're like, well,
they don't do anything about it.
Where's the code of morale there? Do you know what I mean?
That's it. So again, you're saying, okay, so the biggest task then is for actually the people seeing it to actually, put up their big boy pants. It's going to be uncomfortable. pull up your socks and go and have that conversation. Yes, it's going to feel awkward. Yes, you're going to feel uncomfortable. Yes, you are going to be a bit anxious going into it. But afterwards, you're going to feel a hell of a lot lighter. You're going to feel, and also that person will then know what is actually happening. So then they've then got a decision to make a change or to not make a change. And then you can then go from there which way you want to go.
So I think we've kind of answered it in what we would say is best. Confront it first. There's going to be moments consistently throughout the workplace where you're going to be put in uncomfortable positions. The question is, are you brave enough, bold enough, courageous enough to do it in that moment where perhaps you're like, oh, okay, I'll like kick the can a little further down the road, and maybe I'll wait another couple of weeks. Maybe we'll give it to the end of the month. Oops, another quarter's gone by.
Yeah. Or I'll let someone else deal with it because I'm no longer there now because you've got too much and I've left. And that's what it is, right? People now need to take the responsibility. If the top performer is actually causing a problem, like, it has to be addressed. It has to be addressed.
It has to be. It's important. And of course, there's ways in which it can be done, but you just can't ignore these things.
No, but it also comes down to communication. End of the day, that's what it is. Having those uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cool. So, good point to finish today's live. Good point to finish this episode of the Back in Charge Brief. So if you would like to catch up on other episodes of the Back in Charge Brief, then go to our YouTube channel and you can get all of those episodes there. And until the next episode, if you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself and Kerrie on LinkedIn, and we'd love to have a conversation with you.